Didn't Hulk have Juggernaut's power for a while?
Colossus did.
Colossus did. That's who had it. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I knew something you didn't about a mutant. That's a point somewhere, right?
For
My
those
memory
keeping
is
track at
shot.
home. Welcome, everybody, to the Multiverse Unlimited podcast. We have reached our milestone episode of 25. The numbers are good. We can rent cars. Our insurance is going to go down. I'm not sure if anybody realizes how expensive having 8 Voltron vehicles is on our insurance. Today, we're about half power, but I think we have enough power to handle the news of the week. We got Quincy Price.
They can't hear your hand, Quincy.
Yeah, I was trying to give you something. I was muted. Hello, everybody.
Oh, I gotcha. My bad. We got Mike Jones.
What up?
All right, and we have myself, that one guy, Rob, and our fearless leader, Cosmic Lou.
What is good? Hey, yo, people. Man, episode 25. Thank you, Rob, for the intro. Loved it. And you're right, man. We're going to have to check our car insurance rates. Because, Mike, you're the Voltron, man. What's the going insurance rate for a Lion?
A Lion?
Voltron
know.
Lion. You don't know?
Well, I tell you what, if anybody has some, send it to me and I'll find out. Send me all your lions. Send me all your lion figures. I don't matter which lion series it is, and I'll find out how to insure it for you.
Yeah,
I promise.
you may not get it back. It'll be safe in Mike's
yeah.
room.
It's gonna be in the
we get a
collection.
discount. We get a discount if we keep it in giant robot form. But
you can visit it. You can visit it whenever you want to, but just getting it back. Once hit that room, it's over. It's gonna be along with the other 6 Voltrons I got. It's got.
Yeah. Rob's right. We may get a discount if we stay in form all the time. But that's from Nevada to Pennsylvania to Georgia to North Carolina. That's a stretch. Let's see. Different rates. Doesn't matter. Joke's over. So, man, welcome everybody to episode 25. We're happy. Wow. Numbers are great. We have the fearsome foursome right here, the 4 horsemen. I'm giving Mike the got to give it to 4.
You know it.
You know it. But
Mike Jones is our Ric Flair.
Exactly.
Damn right. Ain't nobody else. I got to be me. You know, when I got married, I told y'all, when I got married, I came in the church to Ric Flair's theme music. That's how I entered the church. I came in.
Yeah.
You damn right.
Your wife loves you.
Profile into that house.
Look at this.
My wife loved me.
Did you have the feather boa and everything?
No, I couldn't find one, but I had my long coat. I walked in, and my groomsmen came in to Outcast, so fresh, so clean. Yes, they did.
Oh wow, wow!
We had fun at my wedding.
That's great, man. That's great. I just celebrated my 6th wedding anniversary.
Congratulations!
Thank
Congrats.
you. Yeah. Good times, man. We actually had my son's 7th birthday. His birthday is actually today, but we had his birthday party on our anniversary day because that was the only time that we had to do it. So it was fun. But yeah, weird side note. I was watching Who's Line the other night talking about wrestling, and they had Chris Jericho on one night, and then they had some Bella twins from the WWE. Are you familiar with those?
They're old, but I'm familiar.
Yeah. And then they had Candace Patton from The Flash. Not The Flash. Yeah, The Flash. Iris from The Flash.
Okay.
She was on there as a guest. And the night, and 2 episodes before that, they had, what's their name? The crying one from Arrow.
Oh, Felicity?
Yeah, they had her on there too.
I remember Chris Jericho being pretty funny on there.
Yeah. He's a little guy too, man. He's only like 5'7". He's a little guy. I thought he was bigger than that. But I digress. Man, going into this week, the biggest news right now, honestly, is when Thor, Love and Thunder trailer dropped. I was sitting right here when it dropped, and news feeds flew open. Quincy was like in love,
Mm-hmm.
all over again. So,
Mm-hmm.
what'd you think of it, Quincy? You being the Thor aficionado of the crew.
So far so good, I guess. I mean, it looks good. Like, I'm already prepared for them to deviate from the story a little bit, but I'm glad to see Thor back on the screen. 4 movies. That's a first for that universe. Uh, so I mean, I liked Ragnarok, so like I guess I'm optimistic for this one. So let's go. Ready?
What storylines, if any, do you think they'll borrow from? Because I know that you made a point. We were in a chat and you said they took that shot exactly from the comic. Then
Hmm.
you posted that article.
I here's the thing. Like that storyline was long and it was brutal. The Olympians might be cannon fodder for Gore. Uh,
Mm,
there was a lot of fighting. He fought Gore like in the past, present, and in the future. There were 3 Thors. We're probably getting 2. I just what I always say with Marvel, I hope that they actually put substance behind some of these appearances. Sometimes they just
right.
put stuff in, like, oh, it was in the movie.
Oh, they gonna pull a
Uh,
Sony on us? They gonna pull a
uh,
Sony?
a Sony or like a Taskmaster on us,
Ugh.
and say like, oh, he was in the movie. Like that wasn't the Taskmaster. That wasn't. I can't think of any examples right now, but do it justice. Like I said, I like Ragnarok. I can't say the director's name, but you know what I'm talking about. I hope they do some kind of justice to the story and to the character. Like I'm
Okay.
optimistic.
All right. All right. Rob, what were your impressions, man?
I was, yeah, it instantly gave me, with his all interactions with the Guardians, it gave me some Ragnarok vibes. So I was like, oh, good, they're doing it again. But the I
Got
don't want,
Watiti.
yeah, Taika, he's pulling it. No, I'm very very excited to see this one. Natalie Portman. I just read that she's actually been bulking up for this role. She's
Love it.
usually a pretty thin girl, but
Yeah.
she's taken, protein powder and working out. So she's going to be a little more, defined at least. I'm not going to say she's going to be like She-Hulk ripped, but
Yeah.
and then yeah, those scenes that are taken straight out of the comic. Um, just this conversation with you guys that this whole thing sparked, got me to buy the first 2 volumes of The God of Thunder and King Thor.
Wow.
So I have those on the way. I hopefully read those before the movie comes out. I'm sure I have plenty of time, but yeah, I'm very excited to see it.
Heck yeah. Hey, Mike,
Sir,
did you get a chance? I know you're not a big trailer guy.
I watched it.
All right.
Oh, I liked it. I read the whole thing, like Quincy. I read all the whole God of Thunder, King of Thunder, the whole Gore storyline. I got all those books. I've got the first Jane Foster Thor comic.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm invested in it. I was excited about seeing it. I like seeing him work out. Get himself back in shape. Only thing I'm honestly not too excited about is the Guardians being part of it. I just don't see how they're going to put them in there. But
The only thing that connects them is he was on the spaceship with him last time we saw him. That was the only thing.
right,
And I think they're just going to be like an Uber for him. They're going to drop him off,
Yeah,
wherever
they're
he was.
the first 15 minutes of the movie or whatever.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I'm curious about. If that's what it is. I mean, long as they can make them fit, I'm okay because the Guardians do well. But this story should be interesting. I want to see it. We hit last week about the Gore action figure. I want to see how that ties in.
Oh,
But I'm interested. I'm definitely excited. Like I said, I'm invested in the whole story arc. I really want to see how it goes.
do you think we'll see Beta Ray Bill?
Eventually, but I don't know about. He planted the axe or something. I don't know what that's about. So I think it's possible, but I don't know if we'll get him right now. But Bill should show up soon.
Do you think he's finally getting to mourn the death of Loki? Is that why? Either that or, whoa, I just thought of it. He's mourning the death of his father. And then the Mjolnir comes back together in those little pieces, right, Quincy.
Yeah, and like with Thor, if you think about it, has had no break. Like the Asgard blew up, Hammer got destroyed, Loki dies, people died, then more people died because he didn't kill Thanos when he could have. It's like he's had no break.
Yeah.
The voiceover, he's taking a break from being a hero or whatever. Like he deserves a break. Like, we talk about Scarlet Witch and what she went through, but Thor is up there too as far as loss, and I'm talking since he first came into the MCU. Like,
Yeah.
we're not even talking about his mom. He lost his mom in the second movie. She was stabbed through the heart.
Mhm.
He's lost a
Yeah.
lot of people in the MCU.
You make a great point. Never thought of that.
Which
I mean,
which
he
movie?
definitely has trauma.
Mhm.
Which movie was the one that had the Planet Hulk in it? That World War Hulk, whichever one. Which movie was that?
That was
Ragnarok.
Ragnarok.
That was
That was the
Ragnarok.
third one.
I was there.
But I liked it. I dug it. I was a big Jane Foster fan whenever they premiered her as Thor. I really think watching her at the very end, not knowing what was going on in the streets, there were cars turned over and riots going on. All of a sudden, it wasn't rock star Thor. He still had he didn't have on his cutoff jacket. He had on something else, like a leather cape or something. Watching her pop in was absolutely amazing. I was like, wow, Jane's gonna be in it. She's gonna rock. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not a huge fan of. I'm a fan of Taika, of his work. Not a huge fan of it. I appreciate it. Sometimes he injects humor in places it doesn't need to be. It's kind of like giggling at a funeral. It just didn't need to happen. But
And we all know what J. Pat said. If Gore starts throwing around jokes,
yeah,
we're all
it's a
walking
wrap.
out.
Yep, throwing popcorn and leaving.
Well,
So-
he'll be leaving shortly, and
Oh,
that
yeah.
movie after Gore shows up. I'll bet some multiverse bucks on that. He's going to get funny in there.
Yeah, I don't. What's the actor's name? Batman.
Bale.
Christian
Yeah.
Bale.
Has he ever played has he ever told a joke on screen?
I haven't seen one, but I didn't see what's the American Psycho. Like I saw some possibly humorous scenes in there, but I don't think they were supposed
Not
to
intentionally.
be funny.
Those weren't
Yeah.
intentionally humorous.
Right.
I know
Right.
more about that movie from memes than I do from actually
Me
watching
too.
the movie.
Yeah.
He was in like Swing Kids, and I think he was the villain of Shaft. But I don't know if he was throwing around
way back
comedy
in
in
the day.
there either.
Yeah.
Wow.
Way back
Okay.
in the day.
We'll see, man.
I do have a question. Since they are introducing the Olympians, does that mean we might see Hercules?
Maybe.
I know I've seen a few people say that the way that the jovial nature of the MCU Thor is kind of similar to the comic book version of Hercules, so they
Well,
might not.
That's a good comparison.
Yeah,
It
Herc
is.
is a
Yeah.
drunk, and he's just a fun-loving drunk in the comics. That's what he is. A really strong, funny drunk.
That's a great comparison. I didn't think
Okay.
about that.
Do you guys remember back Super Bowl ad? Back when Super Bowl was going on, you saw these photos of Arnold Schwarzenegger
yeah.
dressed up as Zeus.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think this may be it. I mean, I may be completely wrong, but I think.
Well, Russell Crowe is Zeus.
Yeah. Like.
Oh, he is.
Yeah,
That was for like some kind of commercial that he.
that was an
doing.
electric car commercial.
Yeah.
Oh.
Selma Hayek was in that.
Yeah, she was Hera.
She was hella something.
Yeah. Lovely Selma.
Yes, Lord.
Out of nowhere. Yeah.
Oh man, so yeah, Love and Thunder, thumbs up across the board. We can't wait. It'll happen when it happens, man. There's gonna be a lot more that drops out. That drops into the information pool. So we'll get to that when it happens.
But also, I think we are 2 weeks from Multiverse of Madness now.
yes,
It's
Yes.
so close.
yep.
When does it drop?
Here it drops the 5th. The first showings are Thursday night, May 5th.
Is it really that close? Man,
Yeah.
Day off.
That'll be my
Yeah.
Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, that's gonna be. I'm trying to go to the 5th, but if I can't make it, the first showing here on the 5th, I believe, is at noon, but it's cross town, and it costs twice as much to go across town than it is to drive 5 minutes from my front door. You know what I
Might be
mean?
worth it.
Yeah. It's either going to be Thursday or it's going to be Friday. It could be one of the two, and the boy's going to be in school. So it's like, all right, I'm going to go by myself. I talked to my wife. I was like, are you off these days? She said, nope. I said, well, I'm going to the movies alone. So
I do it all the time.
Yeah, I don't mind. But yeah, 2 weeks from now, well, 1 week, 2 weeks from now. So
Yeah,
we'll get to that for sure. Oh man. All right. So moving forward, Moon Knight this week, episode 4, which we were told was supposed to turn the world on its ear.
It did not.
And it did not. Exactly. Was I the only one that thought this episode was really dark when they were in the cave?
It was hard
I
to see
think that was
something
done
visually.
on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm in this room, and my TV's like not even 10 feet from me. I had to turn off all the lights and drop the window shade. I'm like, I have to see what's going on. And I turned the screen all the way up. And then when the regular stuff came back on, I was like, wow, that's really damn bright. I liked it. It was weird. Of course, this whole show is weird, but I just thought it was a little more weird than usual. The hippo at the end I didn't understand that part. Hopefully one of you guys can explain that to me because I was lost. The last like 5 to 10 minutes of the show was just a bloof. I didn't know what was going on. I dug it though. Hopefully it'll get a little bit better. The action was cool when he squished one of the little guys with the cart. I was like, all right, cool. And then old girl went off and shoved a flare in old boy's eye. I thought that was hilarious.
I love
Quincy's
her now.
Quincy's girl was wrecking. She was just
love
like,
her. Yeah.
Yeah, she was.
Bright part of the show. Like,
Yeah.
I think, and I'll go first, I guess. Like, I'm in a strange position with this show where it's a character I'm not familiar with. So I'm kind of like, I'm watching it and I don't know what's going to happen. But the most interesting thing was the thing at the end. It kind of reminded me of like Hulk and Banner, and like at some point it was like, oh, he's in his mind. And I mentioned the third personality. Haven't seen it yet. I think that was what was in the coffin, locked in, that they didn't open.
Yeah.
And Mark didn't like, he skipped it. Like, I kind of think he had an idea. And the hippo, I don't know if that's like a piece of Kanchu, like in his mind, maybe causing the fracture. I don't know. Like I said,
is there an Egyptian god that's represented by a hippopotamus? Rob's nodding his head. Great.
Tarret.
We'll let Rob get to that whenever Quincy's finished.
Yeah.
but this thing, I think, would have been a better movie because the way it breaks up, like, you have no idea what's going on, and it's not because the story's bad, but because you probably just need to see the whole thing for it to make sense. And
yeah, we're starting the third act right now, so it's supposed to be this is where it's supposed to peak.
I wish he didn't hype up this episode. So like, oh, it's gonna turn. Like, it was a good episode. Like, it didn't match his proclamation of breaking the internet or whatever. He didn't say that, but I'm paraphrasing.
Who's he? Who said that?
What's the actor's name?
Oscar Isaac.
Yeah.
Oscar Isaac. Oh, he said that. Okay.
Yeah.
No,
you're like,
Dameron.
whatever. Yeah.
Oh, Poe Dameron himself. Hey, Rob, tell me more about the hippo, man, and how you felt about it.
So, the name of it is Tourette. Someone sounds like Tourette's. It's kind of like Tourette syndrome, but it's not what it's come from. But it's it's the goddess of childbirth and fertility, and it's also a very protective goddess. So, as to why what I'm guessing is that she somehow is still around, and grabbed him while he was underwater and is protecting him somehow in this mind space that she's created, which reminded me a lot of Legion, because you remember how he's in a mental hospital surrounded by all the players in his games.
Yep.
You saw everybody in there. You even saw the guy who was painted gold. He was one of the patients in there.
Yeah.
So,
he was the guy holding up the bingo balls
with his long hair and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. do not understand what her purpose would be, because being fertility and childbirth, I don't understand what her interest in him would be. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll have
But
to
yeah,
see.
the rest of the episode was pretty good. I understand why they filmed it so darkly at the beginning, because it was almost filmed like a horror movie. A lot of really extreme close-ups, a lot of crazy wonky camera angles, and fast-paced movement in the dark. And then the MCU has confirmed that mummies exist.
Oh,
So there's that.
I thought it was funny that you heard all that gunfire before I don't even know what to call him, the mummy that drugged the guy in and disemboweled him right there. You heard all the gunfire.
I forget what they call them too.
But then they survive gunfire, but then he squishes him with a cart. It's like kind of weird. MCU, we'll let it run. Mike, what do you think, man? Did you get a chance to watch it?
Yeah, I checked it out. For me, so far, the whole highlight of this show was 1 second in episode 3. But when they said Mad Report, but this series as a whole isn't really blowing me away, and this episode was more of the same. I did enjoy the what's his name, the character, not Mark, but the other personality, Steven. I did like the tomb raiding part with Steven. That part was interesting when he found Alexander the Great's tomb, and
yeah,
I liked all that. But when they switched up and they went to the mindscape,
that's where I got lost.
Yeah, it was
because he got shot and then he fell into forever, and then he wakes up mentally. I'm sure when he hits the ground, he's going to wake up, but when she kicked the flare down there, it had no bottom. So,
and it kind of leads you to believe that they missed a god, because you saw that, like the thing with all of the other idols, all the other god statues. So there's a lot of trapped gods in there.
Yeah,
I heard the glass for the first time in Harold's shoes. I heard that for the first time. I was like, wow,
he's a weirdo.
Anytime it's a little bit quiet, you can hear that crunching.
I'm a little unimpressed with him as a villain so far.
You know what impresses me? He's still alive.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Give me more Taskmaster before I see this character again.
He's definitely got that Karen vibe. He's gonna call the police on you. He's definitely.
He's in the wrong country to try to call police on somebody with some dark skin, though.
Yeah, but he's got that kind of vibe, though. He's got that kind. He did it, officer. He gives me that. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not really too pleased with him myself. So
yeah, you know what? Oscar Isaac's doing a great job, but I agree with Quincy that the female lead is stealing the show right now.
Especially last episode. And Isaacs is good. Not to take anything from him. He's been great. But the overall vehicle, this whole thing, and I'm not gonna say it's bad. I'm just gonna wait till the end, because I think me, I'm gonna talk, on my behalf, but I need to see the whole thing, where it's going or whatever. If this ends up like most of the Disney Plus shows, where it's a week ending, I don't know what to say about their shows. I think Hawkeye to me might be, Loki's the best one.
Loki had the best ending. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I liked. I take that back. I didn't like Kingpin getting knocked out by the girl.
I mean, yeah, it was.
Kingpin was a monster in Daredevil, but I know it's not fair to compare, I guess. But
he didn't die though. He got shot in the face. We all know he didn't. He didn't die from that. We know he didn't. I just don't. We're in Act 3 right now. We're starting Act 3 of Moon Knight, and I think it's gonna. Hopefully, it gets a whole lot better, because we've seen very little of Moon Knight the character. We've seen a lot of Mark. We've seen a lot of Steven. We haven't seen a whole lot of Moon Knight. I think that's what everybody wants, is more Moon Knight. Which, granted, that's what the show is called. It's not called Mark and Steven. So, I don't know.
I think a lot of people are looking for Moon Knight to be, we've said this before. I think they're looking for him to be Batman, and it's just not what you're going to get with that character.
No.
They set themselves up for failure thinking that.
Exactly, that they did. And I think that's where a lot of people are missing the boat. You are not going to get that detective type Batman cool character. Moon Knight is crazy. It is what it is.
I do like the Tomb Raider vibe it's giving me though. Like Uncharted,
that was the best part of the
Tomb Raider,
episode for
Indy.
me. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then when he fell, the slapstick comedy is well placed and well timed. It's not over the top.
Yeah, I agree.
It's actually
like
pretty
punching
funny.
himself in the face.
Yes.
That was cool. That was cool.
See, that was perfect.
That was.
That was perfect.
Oh, I can't help.
How weird is that? Your other personality's wife. Like doesn't that? I don't know. Like you're still my wife, aren't you? Like you married to this person, or is it?
Steven seems so weak, right?
His kiss was terrible. It was oh my god. What was that?
Miss Jones was like, "What is he doing?" What makes me laugh is how Steven is so much more physically weak than Mark, but they're in the same exact body.
Mm-hmm.
It just kind of blows my mind. Maybe it's all mental. Who knows?
Just doesn't have that muscle memory.
He's pretty funny though. Steven's hilarious when he's giddy as a child when it comes to certain things.
So he makes the discovery of a lifetime finding Alexander the Great's tomb and immediately shoves his hand down his throat.
That should be on a OnlyFans. Just kidding. I don't know. That's sick.
I don't know what that is.
Sure. Yeah.
Look at Rob.
Oh, we're terrible. We're terrible. All right, man. Sticking to the small screen, Halo. Was it episode 5, Rob? 4 or 5?
Sure.
We'll go with that.
I'm not exactly sure.
We will go with
I think it's 4 and 5, yeah.
The most recent episode of Halo. I dig the show. Not being a Halo player and just going to this show, like a Halo virgin. I enjoy it. The action's good. The CGI is a lot better than I can do. So I give that a thumbs up, but some of it's kind of wonky at certain points. Rob will agree with me on that. The story's getting better. Yeah, the story's getting a whole lot better. And I like the fact that the mom and the daughter reconnected. I thought that was the best part about it, is that she actually was like, oh, my daughter, as opposed to Captain so-and-so on the field. So it was cool. I liked the one spot of humor where he was shooting his gun. She said, maybe you should switch to your secondary. And he says, I know how to play this game. I was like, wow. Almost 2 on the nose on that one. But
yeah, and I had to laugh out loud when the exact description of how a needler worked happened to one of the poor soldiers, where you all of a sudden he hits do, and all of a sudden he's just red mist.
Yeah, on the back of the Jeep. Yeah.
Yep.
That was insane.
That was exactly to the T how these Spartans described that happening while they were joking about it.
Yep. It's getting better. This story in action, like Rob said in the chat, a couple hours ago, the action got better. The CGI kind of fell off in spots, maybe 5 or 10 seconds of the whole show, so it's not a big deal.
A lot of it was in the background.
Yeah. So, anybody else besides Rob and myself check it out? You two? No,
I never saw it. I just realized I had Paramount. I didn't know I even had that.
Look at this.
Well, apparently my wife gets this stuff free for being a teacher. I didn't know. Like I said earlier in the chat, I didn't really know I had Prime. And
yeah,
you'll be watching on Invincible now.
I have to now.
Like you got to be reported for that. Like right after they finish with Halo,
Here we go.
We gonna talk about that. I'm glad you brought that up.
I didn't know, man. Like I say, I don't pay for it, so I didn't know it was. I haven't got a profile and everything. It says Dad on it. I didn't know it was there.
Where were you when we were talking about this, though?
I just didn't know I had it.
It is so good. It is so good. No, you had your chance. We are talking about you. Like that show is so good. It's so good. It's so good. Really,
apparently the comic is good too. So I mean,
okay, I understand that. Like, and that's cool. You can get to the books, but the show, like, get to the show, and you'll definitely be reading after that. Because I was interested in reading after the show, even though I'd never followed up on it. Like, bro, after this is done, you need to go.
How many episodes is it?
It's enough. Okay,
Is-
like
are
you
they
need to
are they
go.
long? Or they half hour? How long are
You
they?
ain't even gonna notice because you're gonna be that much into them. Like world building, that season like is great. It's great writing in that show. Good animation. You need to go watch that, man. You need to
Yes,
get off
it
now
is.
and go
It
watch
is.
it.
No, don't
Good
get
voice
off now.
actors, everything
Don't do
all
that.
around.
Stay right there. Don't log off. It's good.
Nah, I won't log off, but
Can't believe, can't
I'll check it
believe,
out.
man, the stuff that comes out on the page. I was like, what?
I didn't
Season
know.
season 2 is in production right now. Season 2 of Invincible is in production right now.
I
So
just didn't know I had the dang thing. Nobody
I
told
went
me
into
to
that
get
show
in.
blind, man. Like I didn't read the comics. I didn't, but really interested in those characters in that universe now after watching that.
okay. I love the first. You got to check it out, Mike.
I
Can't
am.
believe,
I
man.
am.
All right,
I have at
that's
least
word.
one episode by next week. I have maybe two.
What?
That's word. I can dig it.
I go back to work next week. I'm on vacation now, so I go back to work Monday. So I give you maybe 1 or 2 by then.
You're gonna do more than 2. I'll bet money on that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good money. That's multiverse bucks.
Yeah, yeah. You're not gonna want to stop. I seen Invincible.
We're gonna let them tear each other up in the second round. What are your feelings about Halo, man?
Oh, this was a good return to form. I was just talking to my brother, who's a big Halo fan, about the show, and I told him like, well, it's kind of a slow burn right now. We had a little bit of action in the first episode, and then it's been kind of story development ever since. But now we got true to form Doomslayer style Spartans on the field, just tearing everybody apart, and just like the games, you have all the Marines around you just getting ripped up by the Covenant while Master Chief and all the others are walking forward. A lot of minigun action, a lot of exploding.
Who was the gigantic dude with the hammer that came down from the ship and snatched up the artifact?
I think that is one of the newer races from like the newer, more recent Halo stuff.
Okay.
I'm not too familiar with, because it looked like kind of like a lion person almost, right?
Yeah.
I didn't recognize him.
Okay.
At least from the games that I've played, but
okay.
Yeah, they got to bring out like the Imperial Guard because they got to get that thing, the artifact they've been looking for.
Okay.
But yeah, we got some more details on John's past. Apparently, he was kidnapped by Halsey, so that kind of adds some more tension for the future.
Yeah, a little hitch.
He's going to be real pissed, especially considering Cortana shut him down when he tried to confront her.
That was
He's
so
going to be
strange.
real mad when he comes down from his high of murdering all those Covenant.
Dude, Mike Quincy, he was in mid-jump to punch this woman in the face. And Cortana, which is his AI, and
shut him down.
Turned
off his nervous system.
In midair, and he just dropped like a stone. Bloop.
Eyes rolled back in his head and everything.
She Control-Alt-Deleted him right there. It was so strange. I was like, wow, this is crazy. So yeah, when he comes off that adrenaline high of all these people dying and his little friend getting the crap kicked out of her because she had a heart attack on the field, he punched all the life out of that alien's head. That was crazy.
Oh man,
he
purple
knocked
goo everywhere,
and jaw was gone. And I was watching it. I just picked up my son from school, and I'm sitting here watching it. And it gets to that one part, and here he comes into my office. What are you watching? And he's just like taking the mandible off that guy's face.
Yeah, it's like that scene in Sin City when Bruce Willis is punching the yellow man's face into the pavement. It's like that.
It was graphic. He said, "Why is he doing that, Dad?" I said, "Because he's a bad guy. That's the only definition. It's the only reason I can give him." So we stuck with that. He ran off and played with his Legos 5 seconds later, so he was all right. So
yeah,
no big deal. Man, all right, check it out, and it's still on 1 week delay on YouTube, I believe.
YouTube,
perfect. So everybody can catch up. Oh man, so we got Moon Knight out of the way, we got Halo out of the way. So let's get into some Sonic 2. How about it, guys? We all checked it out.
Yep.
It was an impromptu thing for me, man. My neighbors came by and they were like, "Hey, let's go check out Sonic 2." We were like, "Oh, cool, let's pile up. Let's go check it out." I dug it. It was fun. Jim Carrey was amazing. Honestly, his character was so over the top at certain points; it was hilarious. And the funniest part to me was when Sonic went Super Saiyan. That was great. He was like glowing gold and just couldn't be beat. But overall, it was a fun movie. Knuckles was kind of cool. Tails was awesome. Definitely not a field guy. So
Yeah.
I think it's a good fun romp. The kids came back from watching the movie and they were playing in the yard and all of was like, "No, I'm Knuckles. No, I'm Knuckles." I was like, "Y'all figured it out." So they had a great time. I liked the movie. I dug it. It wasn't too much of a stretch. I mean, the writing wasn't super heavy, but it was Sonic. You know, you're not going to screw that up. So it was nice, fun. The music soundtrack was great because it harkened back to all the old stuff, and it gave you more of a nostalgic feel more than the first one did, because I think they had more to build on this time.
Especially with the closing credits, which are basically done in the form of the video game.
Mm-hmm. And that movie, it was good, and it didn't take itself too seriously. Like, I thought Idris Alba was great. Like, I thought he made the character. Um, like, it was good. Like, when they were talking about Chaos Emeralds, and I remember that from the first game, and being able to turn into Supersonic on the second game after getting all those emeralds. It was a lot of childhood stuff. Like, my son, I took my kids, and my son was excited for when Knuckles and Sonic were fighting in the temple. Like, I was most excited I've seen him in a while, and the the movie was good. Like, I can't believe they're making it work. To me, they're 2 for 2 with those movies. It was good. Like, the only part that I wish they could have done without was the like, how did Shamar Moore end up in this movie with the painted on hair, and like, what was he doing where he was
At least he
available?
didn't have. At least he didn't have the braids.
Yeah, but the paint on chin hair was that's all I could look at when he was in scenes. Uh, but like, it wasn't like it didn't damage the film at all. It's just like, what's with the fake wedding? So great movie. Like, I'm probably see it again. My kids wanted to see it again, but it's probably gonna wait for a streaming option there. You can
Yeah,
watch it again there.
yeah. I give it 45 days before I check it out again. I give it that. Rob, what do you think, man? Dig it?
Yeah, I had a good time with it. I kept leaning over to my because we went with my girlfriend and her kids, and I kept leaning over to her son, and I'm like, "Oh, this is gonna happen. Oh, this is gonna happen. Oh, it's gonna be supersonic. Oh, I bet you that's Shadow." But no, I enjoyed the movie a lot. You can definitely tell they are keeping it more for the kids while still kind of keeping the adults who have played the games engaged. Um, there was a couple silly CG scenes that when stuff breaks and falls weird, you're looking at it and like, oh, that obviously looks fake.
Yeah.
There's a couple of that, but that didn't really bother me that much. Jim Carrey looking like he was Ace Ventura who put the mask on from The Mask. Just the combination of those two, and it was interesting that most of his scenes were basically him by himself
in front of
in a green screen room, and just him dancing and screaming away, not interacting with any other characters. And that was just pretty funny to just see him going ham. He was probably doing it in his living room for all we know.
That's true. That's very true. Now that you mention it, wow.
Yeah, and then Knuckles doing his best Drax impression, taking everything literally was pretty funny too.
Yeah. Dot 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 dot
dot dot dot dot.
My sons ran around for 2 days going dot dot dot. It's like, y'all gotta sit down somewhere. Mike, man, what do you think? Did you dig it?
I enjoyed it. I did. I'm pretty much on the same page as everybody else. Shamar Moore, I was like, what? that whole wedding, it was too much time spent with the wedding. They could have summed that up I didn't see that coming. I was like, Shamar, what? Again, that was just confused the whole time. Like, why
Tyler
is this
Perry was
happening?
sitting back like, yes.
Is this the Young and the Restless? I was like, what is going on here? I didn't quite understand why they gave them so much attention, but okay, they were secret agents. Okay, I could dig it. Jim Carrey to me, they say he might not come back for the third one if they make it, and I'm okay with that. He was the same Jim Carrey he's in every dang movie. Like Rob said, with Ace Ventura and the Mask and Throwing the Grinch, it's the same thing. But I was Jim Carrey out by the end of that movie. It was like, okay, yeah, I've seen this joke a dozen times in a different uniform, so let's go on to something else. So but like you guys, my kids loved it. I mean, their mouth was wide open. They were hooping and hollering the whole time when he turned supersonic or whatever it's called. And at the end, when the what's the other thing called? He popped up at the end. Shadow.
Shadow.
I think my middleman Malcolm. I think he almost lost his mind. I really think that he pissed on himself a little bit. He was so. I like, who was that? Shadow. That who's Shadow? I don't know. Okay, relax. I don't know. Watch you put the bass in your voice talking to me. But that's really where he was at. All right, but I'd watch it again. Wouldn't pay for it again, but I'd watch it again when it comes on somewhere I can see it for free. Yeah.
Yeah, when it pops up on one of the streaming services that you don't know you have.
Hey, look, it happens. It happens.
Amazon.
No, it don't.
It did.
Yes. You make a valid point, sir. You make a very valid
let's talk about streaming real quick. I prefer cable. There's nothing on
Really?
streaming. It doesn't. There's nothing that really draws me to streaming. It's too many different ones for one. Nothing like before when Netflix came out, it was one thing. Now you got Max. Now you got Prime. Now you got Paramount. Now you got Peacock. You might as well just have cable because there's too many things to spread out. You might get one show on each network. And come on, man, it's just too much.
Yeah,
it's gotten a little more complicated than it has in the last couple of years, but it depends on what you're looking for. Like if you're just doing movies, like Netflix, like if you want like TV shows, I would say Hulu, but Hulu has gotten better the last couple of years with their movies. Like it's comparable to Netflix. Amazon's almost whatever you want, but you're gonna have to pay for it.
Yeah.
You know,
that's true.
They're like a hub. Like you can buy Amazon and then get to Paramount or get to Cinemax or get to HBO. Like that, you'll end up spending more money in the end with them because they make everything readily available.
See, the only advantage to streaming service is the fact that you don't have to be in front of your TV to do it.
That too,
as opposed to cable, where you have to be in front of your TV to do it.
And you can cancel it in under 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of Netflix, you know what? This was not even on our topic list, but they're stirring a big pot right now, and a lot of people. I mean, the big headline is what they're going to start charging people more if they share their password, which is a gigantic gray area because I personally share my password with my sisters-in-law that live 45 minutes away from me. Right. And so they watch our Netflix. No big deal to me. If they want to charge me more for that, that's going to kind of, make me unhappy. But I can see a business side of what they're talking about. If you have an account and you pay it's $20 a month for their top tier, right? So you can have 4 or 5, 6 devices going on at one time, which is fine. But leave it at that. Because I can see where they're getting pissed off because you have all these people in the community sharing a Netflix account. That not really a community, but like friends, family, different states, different places. I can see where that would piss off Netflix because they're losing revenue because people aren't paying their minimum, $12 a month for that. But it would make me upset if my family couldn't log into Netflix simply because they live with their mom and they don't like to watch everything that she likes to watch on TV. So they grab their tablets or laptops. They watch Netflix and Hulu and all the rest of that stuff. I can see the business side, but I can also see the consumer side of things, which puts me in that gray because it kind of pisses me off, but I can understand where they're coming from. They're losing money. but their stock dropped so much in the past 2 days. I think it lost like $300 on the stock, and it was trading last at like $200 a share, and that's down from like $600 a share or $500 a share. And then they're cutting back on animation, and then they're going to start running ads on Netflix, which is what Netflix was trying to get away from. Netflix was established to get away from the ads of television. And so they're pretty much, if you live long enough, you become the one thing that you hate the most. And that's exactly what's going on with Netflix. Yeah. And I'm in that gray. I will pay it because of the fact that if you think about it, if you pay $30 a month for something that you use, it's not really money wasted. If you think about $30 a month that you do waste in useless, overpriced coffee or pastries or fast food or anything that you waste money on, you're like, why am I going to pay $30 a month for something? I'm not paying $30 a month for this stuff. It's like, all right, cool. Sit down, look at your numbers in your own house, and you think to yourself, okay, well, I stopped at the gas station 4 times a week to buy a honey bun, a soda, and a bag of chips. That cost me $9. You know what I mean? You're spending $45 a week for junk food. But it's all about your priorities. Netflix is lack of a better term, shitting on a lot of people right now, and they're pissed off, and everybody's trying to, I think, everybody's trying to get in on it or get mad or fix it. And Amazon's going to benefit from it. Hulu's going to benefit from it. Paramount Plus, all the other streaming services are going to benefit from it because Hulu is basically shit in the bed, and I don't understand the motivation. What's
Hulu
anybody
or
else's
Netflix?
take on this?
Well, I like Netflix. It's a time and place. If you would have done this like 10 years ago when the competition wasn't um as stiff as it is, like you can like kind of set the ground rules then. But you've been like this for how many years?
Yeah.
And there are how many streaming options?
Yeah.
And like I mentioned, Hulu actually is doing the opposite. I remember when they used to look like a website when you go on Hulu. It was like not a good application at all. Like
No, their UI was crap.
Yeah. Now it's good. Like they have good movies and they have shows, which is something that Netflix, they have their own shows, but they don't have like old shows, which Netflix used to have a lot of.
Yeah.
They're on Hulu now. Um, I I'm not going to cancel it, but it's like one more price increase, and it's like I'm going to start looking at the bill. Like they lost the Disney shows, so like I can get that
Yeah.
somewhere else from another application that doesn't care how many people have my password. I'm really, after you and Stranger Things are done, then I might be done. I don't know. It might be $30 by then. Who knows? But
Because they're done with Voltron too, right?
yeah, Voltron's done. Like it's
Okay.
funny. It's the first thing I thought of. Like, where can I buy this where I can watch this whenever I want? Uh, that's probably the thing
What do you
that would
mean
hurt.
done? They're not going to show
Like
any
the
more
making it.
episodes?
Yeah, it's done. Like the series is over.
Oh yeah, it's been over, but I thought you
Yeah.
can still watch it there, right?
Yeah, you can still watch it. But the complaints with Netflix now, on top of that, is that they're canceling shows before
Oh yeah. They have
giving
no
them a
content
chance.
anymore.
Right. It's
That's
like
what I mean. They're cutting back on animation.
like they're, well, just the regular shows too. Like they're cutting back on those too, canceling them, and it's just so many strikes going against them. You're going to start wondering why I have this. Like you're just going to start wondering.
Yeah, that's true. You can actually buy it. You can actually buy the series right now on Amazon Prime.
Yep, that's exactly what I was thinking about. Yep.
Yep, you can buy all the seasons for $2 a season. I don't know if they have a bundle up yet, but right now they're at $2 a season for Voltron. So who knows?
Is it really $2 a season?
Yeah,
That's
I'm
not
looking
a
at it right now.
That's not even an accident. That's cheap
Yeah.
for a season.
Yeah,
Is that to stream it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's in your library. You can watch it on as many screens as you want with as many people.
I barely use my Netflix at all.
Amazon don't care.
It barely comes on.
Yeah, no, you're right about
It,
that, Mike.
like I said, it comes with my phone plan. They pay for it, So as long as I keep my phone plan, I get free Netflix. So
yeah, they'll talk you out of that. I don't know. Rob,
That
what do you
came
feel
with it.
about
That wasn't even part of the deal.
I honestly can't remember the last thing I watched on Netflix. So
Really?
if it wasn't for I have a high school friend who's sharing the password with, I would have canceled it long ago.
Mm-hmm.
But I know
Yeah.
her and her kids watch it a lot, so
You
I
see,
don't
that's
know.
what I mean.
I think You was probably the last thing I watched on there, honestly.
You didn't
My
follow
kids.
Stranger Things?
I do, but yeah, that hasn't been out since
Oh, okay.
2019.
What was
And
that
then You
project we
was what,
watched?
last fall, I
Hmm?
think, or in,
Was it the Adam Project? That was the last thing I watched, and that was
oh, was
with
that on
Ryan
Netflix?
Reynolds.
That
Was
was a
that?
Oh, that's right.
Netflix
Okay,
original.
then that was the last thing I watched
That
on
was the
there.
last thing I watched.
And the Red Notice too, right?
Red Notice, yeah. I can't. My kids wear out Netflix. They do.
Mm.
They know the red button on the remote. That's what they hit. It's safe. It's on the kids settings. I don't know, man. I told you I'm in the gray about it because I can see the business side of it, but I can also see the consumer side of it. It puts me in that weird area of saying I know where they're coming from, but
It's hard to justify watching one show every couple of months when you're
yeah,
paying $20 a month for it.
yeah, yeah.
It like reeks of a move from a company that needs the money. Does Netflix
Yeah.
need? I understand what you're saying, but it's like time and place. It's time and place. Like I sold you this product or whatever, and it's like I'm coming back with stipulations like a year later.
Pay to win. It's like free to play
Like I
games.
know, and I know the fine line. You can change the terms whenever you want. I know about the lawyer talk at the bottom of the receipt and everything, but it's just it's other fish in the sea, and they
Yeah.
don't really
Yeah,
have any real exclusives where it's like I gotta have this. I gotta
yeah,
have this.
yeah.
Like
They're
and
sitting on
then
themselves right now.
like the on top of that, even if I did cancel, I can come back for like a weekend and binge the show because they release them all at the same time, and then just cut it off again on Monday.
You can go and get you another Gmail account and just keep getting those free subs.
Yeah, that too. Some of the things they do is outdated. They probably shouldn't release a whole season all at once anymore. It keeps people engaged and the hype or the excitement for your show, like it lasts a little longer. Like if they release Moon Knight all at the same time, like 4 weeks ago, will we still be
Oh, it's
talking about it
done.
now?
No,
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
no.
moving
I
on.
probably wouldn't have watched it. It was 10 hours. It would have 6 hours. It just turned me off. Just that, But like I said, once a week I can watch once a week. It's easier to digest that way.
Yeah,
I do like that format better.
Oh shoot!
They did break up this final season of Ozarks. They did break it up into two parts. They released the
Yeah,
first half, then the second half comes out a week from today.
I
So
can't.
they
I
did do
can't
that.
cancel Netflix. I can't. Not until Cobra Kai is done, but that's once a year
Dude,
in January. I'll just have it once a year
I'm
and come
still
back
paying
to it.
less. I'm still paying less for all of my streaming services than I would for cable.
Oh, absolutely, is the
And
better option.
that's where my bar is because once I get above um that ROI, I'm not once I hit that peak and it's like, all right, cable will cost me X amount of dollars. I was just like, oh sugar. So once I hit that bar is when I break. But right now I'm still under it because right now it's Amazon, it's Hulu, and it's Netflix. And the only top tier one that I pay for is Netflix. Hulu is at the very bottom. I can watch ads all day long. But do I need them all? No. Do I have them all? Yeah. But
You want to know what's crazy? Like Hulu's always had ads, and it's not a problem. But like Netflix, it's time and place. Like they're both going to be doing the same thing, but one didn't have ads, and the problems there, and those people probably have Hulu and have had commercials. Like I don't even think about them anymore on Hulu.
no, you
You
get up
know?
and go get something to eat.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But Netflix, you're like, damn, honey, let's cancel this, get this off get this
I
off
don't
the
understand
books.
the motivation. Just like you guys, I don't understand the motivation. Why are you going to drop ads now? You've been in the game for what? 12 years now of ad free watching, and all of a sudden you want to drop some crap.
It's
I don't get it.
it's like a book guy made this decision and not like a movie fan. Like somebody from accountant came out, hey, we can make this amount of money if if we get all of the accounts tied to this. Like, oh, it's great.
So
It's a great
Netflix
idea.
came out. Netflix came out as the Snyder Cut, but now all of a sudden they're going back to the.
Yeah, somebody
Going back
had
to
an
the-
idea. Yeah, somebody had an idea.
The Justice League.
Yeah, they're going back to the Justice League. Oh man! Speaking of ads, I want to touch on this real quick. PlayStation and Microsoft are going to start running ads on their free-to-play games like Fortnite and what's the other one? Apex Legends and stuff like that. They're going to drop them. They're going to be ads that are going to be run in these streaming games, the free-to-play games, which I don't play. I know a lot of people that do play them. My 7-year-old son is begging for Fortnite on his PlayStation, and I keep vetoing this decision because it's just useless to me. But now, the ads thing. They want to run ads. People want more and more money. I don't get it. I don't play the games. I don't play the free-to-plays. So it's not going to affect me. Personally.
And those games already make so much money.
Mm-hmm.
With the play to win, the pay to win, aspect. You can buy the skins and the weapons and the upgrades and all the rest of that stuff. It's a money grab right now, man. I mean, and we're talking about, on a side note, the housing market is about to take a nosedive. So money's not going to be around anymore a whole lot. And so now they want to start running these ads for people to start paying for stuff. It's not going to happen. They're not going to get the money they think they're going to get between Netflix and Sony and Microsoft want to run ads all the time. It's like, you can run them. Nobody's going to spend it. So
I worked for a company a couple of years ago. I'm not gonna say the name on here, but it seems like companies just get to a point where they're looking for ways to squeeze blood out of a stone. Like they're looking for new ways to make money. And like one, I think it was you, Lou, or Rob mentioned, like they're making money already. What money are you looking for?
exactly.
Like all you're doing is reminding me that, like, I like services that I don't really know are there. Like they take their money and then there when I need them. I had a car insurance company and there was a problem with the bill like almost every other month. And right the last day when I was getting ready to leave, I talked to somebody. He's like, "Yeah, I can fix all this for you." Like, dude, I'm already gone. Like, it's too late. Like, my car insurer now, I don't know that they're there. They take their money and they're there when I need them. I knew this other company was there. Like they didn't. There was no bill issue, no nothing. And like that, all they're doing is reminding people that I'm paying for this in some extent. It's like, well, why you're still asking for money? Like, I
Right?
thought we had all this worked out. Like, I'm gonna look for other options.
It's like that dude that you loan $20 to, and then every time you see him, it's like, you owe me that $20. I said, man, I paid you that $20.
Right? Like, go, like, stop.
Let it go.
Yeah, like I won't be back. You're gonna become that customer. You're gonna sound like that customer. I'm gonna take my business elsewhere.
Yep.
You're making it too complicated. I already really don't want to pay you. Like I don't want. Like I don't want to give you the money, but I need the service. But if you're making it
I'm
harder,
only here because I'm legally obligated.
right? Right now, you're making it harder for me to give you the money, or you're changing the amount every time. Like I'm here,
and that's what it is. When Netflix starts charging people more for sharing their passwords, or they do an IP ping, trying to see exactly where your account is registered, and then when the other people are logging in and they start charging you more. I know people that hustle their Netflix password. They get $5-10 a month, which is not much, but still, it's part of a dinner.
Something on the side, yeah.
Something on the side,
It's a Crown Fried Chicken. That's 2 meals right there.
It's something, but life will find a way. If they start charging more, somebody's going to make a hustle out of it. Period.
Did that article explain how they're going to put ads in the? Are they just going to be like Geico ads on the billboards in Fortnite, or
they're going to drop in the middle of a boss battle? Cost you the win.
Yeah.
This boss battle is brought to you by Allstate.
Yeah, I think they're going to be pop-ups. I think they're going to be little pop-up ads because it's all, they're all the free-to-plays are run off a server. They're live games. And so it's just going to be like pop-up ads,
I-
I'm just wondering how they're going to show up and not actually interfere with the game itself.
Yeah, I was curious about that too, and I'm telling you, when people hear stuff like this, the first thing that they ask is, "How much are we paying for this now?
Yeah.
How much?" And it's like just get rid of it. Just get rid of
Yeah.
it.
Yep. You know how many 12-year-olds are going to be pissed off they can't play Fortnite? All of them.
Yeah,
All of
I
them.
can go play real games.
Exactly. Drop them on some Elden Ring. Let them die a few times.
Let's see how good you are in this.
Exactly.
You know how you announce price increase with more features? We're giving you this now for an
Yeah.
additional whatever. You're like, oh, okay, and then you keep
Yeah.
working, you keep taking care of the kids or whatever. But I'm getting the same service, and it's gonna cost more.
Yeah. Give me something.
Okay.
Give me something.
Like
The marketing team sucks.
talking about Crown Fried, $5 for 5 pieces on Sunday. It's 2 pieces
Word?
for 5. No, I'm just throwing out numbers, but
Oh.
it's like they're changing the price, but you're not getting anything else.
Nah.
Like Sunday it was 5 for 5, and by next week it's 2 pieces for $5. Like, what happened to the other 3 pieces? Like, why? What's the price increase? Like,
Chicken shortage.
the
The great chicken shortage of 2022.
Give me that fake chicken back there. Make it look good.
That tofu chicken.
Yeah.
No, don't ever do that.
Mystery
Ever
meat.
in your life. I've tried tofu chicken. It sucks. Oh, man. Oh, video game front. Streets of Rage, the movie. They're talking about. This is a topic dropped by Terrence. He wants us to talk about the Streets of Rage movie that's supposed to be dropping. They're supposed to be in production. Being handled by the people that did John Wick. Do you think it'll hold? I mean, video game movies don't really have a whole lot of great footing as a whole. That's going to be a whole other topic. We want to talk about this in another episode. We have it scheduled, people, so please tune into that. But Streets of Rage is supposed to be making its way to screens, done by the same people that did John Wick and The Equalizer. So what do we think about all that? It's taken off because of the fact that, Streets of Rage was a Sega game and Sonic, of course, was Sega. And they're trying to latch on to the heat that is Sonic the Hedgehog 2. You think it's going to be a swing and a miss, or you think it's actually going to try to get some traction?
It all depends on like how they package it, really. Like, Streets of Rage at the core is cops fighting against the crime lord. I don't see a movie where they're fighting up and down the street all night and everything. Probably some guns and some buddy cop situations if I was doing it. Video game, I know you said you wanted to save this for another episode, but it's so tricky with video game movies.
Yeah.
It's funny, like movies that are based on just the video game genre seem to do better. Like I thought Free Guy was good.
Yeah.
And it like we think about The Wizard. That's not it's a video game movie, but it's not based on a video game. It was really just a long ass commercial.
Was that the joint
For
with
Ralph. Yeah.
the glove?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Was Fred Savage and some kid?
yeah, and like there's another movie I'm thinking of right now, and I didn't. Player One.
Ready Player One.
I love RPO. That was one of my
That was a good movie.
favorites.
Yeah, so it's I don't want to. I'm gonna save this for the video game episode, but like it all depends on how you want to package it. Like
Yeah.
if you would have said Sonic the Hedgehog movie 6 years ago, like a cartoon, like okay, or like I'm not gonna watch it. But those live action movies somehow they made that work, and I think part of it was they didn't take it themselves too seriously.
Okay. Rob, what do you think? You think it's a side scroll game.
Yeah, it's
so they're
your
trying to spin 'em-
typical fight and go right
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
games. Yeah, like Final Fight and stuff. Yeah, all they need to do is just have the basic premise of what city it's in, a couple named characters, and a boss, and the in between all just kind of falls into place depending on the director. And if you've got somebody who's done John Wick, they're going to be they're going to be able to do the action and match the stuff from the game. I've never actually played Streets of Rage, but
Ooh.
I know the kind. It's your Final Fights, it's your Ghosts and Goblins.
It's your Street
Not
Fighter,
exactly the
not
same,
Street
but
Fighters,
yeah.
but a Double Dragon type
Double
of joint.
Dragon.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Streets
So
of
martial arts
Rage.
in the streets, fighting gangs.
Yeah, Streets of Rage 2 was probably like the pinnacle of that type of game to me. And I like Double Dragon. I thought Double Dragon 2 was the better one
Mhm.
back then, but like Streets
Yeah.
of Rage 2 is really good. And
Before they had to fight the Battletoads.
yeah. uh, I think you can get it on PlayStation in the PlayStation Network, Sega Classics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's the game.
And then they just released Streets of Rage 4 not too long ago, right, for the Switch?
Yeah. Terrence has it. That's a 4-player.
Ah, well,
Really?
Yeah, you can like the four of us could play. We would
nice.
all meet up and play the game. And I never got it, but I know Terrence had gotten the game.
Okay.
Way
Yeah,
back
he
when.
bought it and shelved it because that's what he does. Love you, T. Love you, man. Mike, you think it'll get any traction, or you think it's just going to be like a swing and a miss because of what it is?
I'm leaning more to the swing and a miss, but Streets of Rage is so old in a sense, and from what I can remember, it never had that big of a following.
Mm-hmm.
So there's nobody's gonna be coming like, that's not in the game. You're not gonna hear that for that. I couldn't remember. I can't tell you not one name of one character. With it, all like Rob said, just scroll right and punch people. That's all I can tell you about this
Yep.
this particular thing. So they kind of got that blank check in that kind of aspect where they can kind of just go where they want, but it's probably gonna miss. They're probably gonna forget something or disrespect the audience in some way, and I really don't see how they could succeed with it. Honestly, I don't
even being handled by the John Wick people. You think it's gonna be?
I mean, the action would be good, but what's the story gonna be like? Yeah.
Nothing. Yeah, it's kind of hollow.
Yeah,
It's not gonna be anything original, but like to me, it has to be like a almost a buddy cop, like a cop drama type movie. And
Yeah.
those, as repetitive as they are, they're successful. You got Bad Boys, you got your Lethal Weapon, and a bunch of other movies I'm not even remembering right now. But if John Wick, stylize it, and after those movies, give it a good look. And I agree with you. Like, if you ask somebody if they play Double Dragon or Streets of Rage, they're gonna say Double Dragon.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
It doesn't have that name, like a Double Dragon,
No.
or it was so many of them back then. Tough. What was the Bad Dudes? The guys in
Bad
the black
Dudes,
white.
yeah.
There was a whole bunch of those type of things back then. And
Even the Turtles, like the stand-up Turtles game, was the same
Mhm.
exact premise. It was 4 people scrolling right, and X-Men, and all those games. We'll have to see. I mean, hopefully they'll make money, unless they put it on Netflix, and then it won't make any money because everybody be canceled by then. So
Those movies had like a background. This has no. They had fan followings. You won't play a Turtles game. You won't play an X-Men game. If I see Streets of Rage coming up, I might just pass it.
You're gonna have to wait for Terrence to come in here. Like I think if you owned the Sega Genesis back then, like the series, but like everyone split up after Nintendo. Everybody had Nintendo, so you either went left and had a Super NES, or
Yeah.
you went right and you had a Sega. Like the populace kind of got
And I had a
separate. Yeah, and I had See, that's it. I had a Genesis and played 1 and 2, and they were both really good. The second one is like one of the best games I've played, and I just have good memories with that game. Playing that all night with my brother, like over and over. We beat it, play it again. I'm gonna play it with these, and it was 4 characters to play, so we used to play it with 2 characters, and then come back and play with the other 2 characters. Be up all night.
Oh man,
Yeah.
Good memories though.
Yeah, for sure.
Shoot.
For sure.
Hopefully it doesn't whiff on us, because that'll be terrible.
These video game movies.
Well, yeah, we'll get to that. I promise you, people. Terrence will be back in 2 weeks, and so whenever he shows up, we'll hit on some good stuff. Rob, did you check out? You caught up on Picard, right?
Yeah. I had the last 2 episodes all caught up on there. I think when we last left off, Picard just got hit by a car
Yes.
and was in a coma, and so we had a little Inception scene with him being stuck in his own mind, and then the Watcher also coming into his mind to help him. And it was interesting when he was in his own mind. He was having a therapy session with. At first, I made the comparison that they're making a lot of Deep Space Nine references, and at first glance, the guy that they had looked very similar to Dr. Bashir, the way he looks now with the beard and the long hair. But it actually turned out to be the guy who played Gaius on the not Babylon 5, on Battlestar Galactica. He was the therapist and kind of working through his fears and his past. And then another part in his mind was the trauma that he had with his mother. And because Picard lost both of his parents when he was younger, all of the stuff was through the eyes of a child. So it was like an old medieval castle style. He was like dressed up like a little Lord Fauntleroy, and his mom had the crown on and everything like that. And what it turns out to be is that his mom wasn't taken away from him or dragged away from him because, there was some evil and that his father was a bad person. It was because his mother was actually mentally ill. And as a child, he wasn't able to understand that. And he never got an explanation from that because he lost both of his parents. So he found out all of his parenting issues through the mind of the body that he's in, and the Watcher who jumped into his mind as well.
Okay.
So yeah, they got that kind of sorted out. I don't know what that's going to play in with the future of this show, but a little bit of past unraveling there. The Borg Queen and Jurati are rampaging through LA right now. We have an explanation. I was kind of confused on one part because the Borg Queen put herself inside of Jurati's mind, and we're learning why isn't she being assimilated? Why is she able to control her? But I guess the Queen only had enough to put herself in her mind, and the rest of this next episode was her basically going around gathering raw materials in order to replenish her nanoprobes. And that's what they use to inject you and turn you into. So she didn't have enough to create it. So she's going around basically eating lithium batteries and finding random car parts to try to create a new nanites. So she could
batteries plus eating everything.
Yeah, like Seven and Raffi find her in like a car park alley, and she just she comes up with like 4 batteries in her hands, and she's like munching on them, and she just jumps over the cars and attacks the both of them. And
the show's weird.
Yeah. So at this point, there's several threats that are threatening the future, but we don't know what it is. If it's going to be the Queen that caused it, if it's going to be Sung and his eugenics that he's been doing to create the daughter that he has, or if it's the thing with Renee Picard.
Okay.
But we did have a fun moment. Back in TNG, there was a scene when Q first met Guinan, and you saw Guinan get into like a tiger stance, like it was some kind of mystical thing. But apparently the two races have a truce and a mutual standing with each other, and she did a summoning to figure out why Q is doing what he's doing. But little did she know is that Q doesn't have his powers, so he couldn't just appear. He had to walk. So it took like an episode and a half for him to actually get to them and explain. But come to find out that Q is actually dying, and for him being an immortal race, he doesn't know what to do. And part of this experiment that involving Picard is trying to figure out how humans deal with mortality.
Okay.
So that kind of explains his involvement in this whole thing.
Yeah, Q was like he tried to die back in the TNG days. He tried to kill him off right when they turned him mortal
Mm-hmm.
because he pissed too many people off. Okay.
Yeah, because that was a punishment. Yeah, and then they in Voyager also the Continuum had a civil war, and they were facing extinction as well. And so there, I mean, he's had some brushes with it, but not enough to actually signal. But the fact that he's losing his abilities and he's stuck where he is, and yeah, he doesn't know what the future is anymore. So that kind of has him scared. So
Ugh.
he wants to find meaning in his existence, which he never had to before.
He's losing his Q privilege.
Yeah. One thing that was, well, two things that were funny. When they did that summoning, it took a little while. This is in Guinan's bar. Some random dude just walks down the stairs, and they thought it might have been a Q, but it was just some guy until he pulled up a photo of or not it was a security cam video of Picard beaming, teleporting in. So he thought they were aliens. And I thought this would have been a perfect casting to just have David Duchovny be that person, because they turned out to have the FBI show up and take him into custody.
Oh,
and
goodness.
I'm like, oh man, missed opportunity for a David Duchovny
oh yeah,
a cameo.
Not like an X-Files drop on that one. That would have been hot.
Yeah. But yeah, they're winding down the series, but we still don't know exactly where they're going or what the threat is going to be.
Oh man, they're waiting for Act 3 to get all this stuff right.
Yeah. Like I said, if this was a TNG episode, this all would have been resolved by now.
No doubt.
They got 7 storylines going on every episode. It's hard to keep track of sometimes.
I just want to hear "Shut Up, Wesley" one time. One time, I want to hear that.
Well, speaking of that, I think he has Will Wheaton has actually pitched a Wesley themed episode for when Lower Decks comes back. So I'm hoping that they do that.
Oh yeah, do that.
Because that show has taken all of Star Trek nostalgia and just having a freaking blast with it.
Heck yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. And that's on Paramount, right?
Yeah, they're all on there.
Mike, you can watch Lower Decks. Maybe.
No. I've never been a big Star Trek guy. I haven't. So
there's so much to catch up on. I mean, if you start watching TNG right now, you'll be done by 2024.
Yeah, man, we got lore from the 60s.
My mom is a huge Star Trek fan. She probably still watches it. She loves it, so she could probably get in this conversation. She probably could.
Man, my stepdad had all the VHSs of all the old school. That's how old I am and how long I've been watching Star Trek. He had all the VHSs of the OG show, and that's what I grew up on: the gold shirts and the red shirts, and a Uhuru with the Bluetooth before Bluetooth existed. She had that shit hanging out her ear. That was a joint, man. I
did enjoy the movies with Chris Pine.
Finding any reason to rip his shirt off.
Exactly.
Yeah, I watched the older ones, but Next Generation might have been one of the better shows that I ever watched. It ended before it got too much, and it's one of the best teams like ever, like small screen and big screen, like from the captain all the way down the engineer. It was one of the better teams, like just period.
Yeah,
I love that. I love that show.
I still do my Riker sit whenever I have a chair that's low enough for me to kick my leg over. I do the Riker over every chair that I possibly
The Riker
can.
maneuver, as they call it.
Yes, the Riker maneuver. You damn right. Oh man! All right, what's next? Young Justice. Anybody? No, we talked about this off mic. Quincy was kind of like in his feels about Young Justice, man.
Just because of the Blue Lantern and Red Lantern appearance. Like I thought it was a good episode, but it just the Green Lantern fan in me was like offended by some things that were going on in there, as far as the being able to switch from the Red Lantern to the Red Ring to the Blue Ring, and I'm nitpicking and I know it, so I'm not going to share it with you guys on air. But it was a good episode. I thought it was a good episode. Young Justice is funny. Like I think DC, with their movies, and maybe even Marvel would like they're one of the best world building. Like I like the trip to New Genesis. I like Rocket being in this. I like the Lantern showing up. Like these last two episodes have been more my cup of tea, and that's not saying that the other ones have been bad, but like it's just a great universe, Young Justice, and that's going all the way back to season one. And like I can't wait to see how this ends up. Dark is making his move, and some things are starting to make sense now with some of the information that was revealed. Um, and some of it I was kind of upset I didn't figure out with I knew about Superboy being the inspiration he was to the Legion, and it just didn't hit me until watching that they were there to save him, or try to. And I can't wait to see how this ends. Like it's I don't want to say it's picking up, but it's starting to make sense now.
Yeah, they took the majority of this episode basically to just have two groups of people explain everything that's been happening in the background since the beginning of this season. You have, I guess he's Kid Flash now. I was calling him Impulse in my head, but Bart Allen and Saturn Girl and Chameleon on one side, and then Lorazad, the White Martian, Migon's brother, right? And then I don't know who the other one was. He didn't say anything.
Yeah, Mantis. It's funny. I remember him from Justice League Unlimited, and he was like a older white guy with like a green uniform on and horns on, and like Superman fought him with Captain Marvel. I think it's season one, and they just totally redesigned his design. And it's like, okay, like I don't care what Mantis looks like, but that looks better. Good episode. Like I'm curious. I really want to know like what Darkseid and Vandal and now Zod have cooked up. What the end game is.
They ain't up to no good. Those three.
Well, they gave him the ability to track Metron, so it's a possibility they could be going after the chair. Which bring me to that. That's my point of nitpick on there. Why is Metron conducting experiments on lantern rings when he has the chair that knows freaking everything?
Exactly.
It literally knows everything.
There was a lot wrong there. There was a lot. There was a lot, and like he lost his rage to charge the ring. Like then you just charge it with a battery. Like you go back to the central battery, just recharge it. Like it was driving me crazy. Like it really was, and I'm like, Quincy, like this isn't a complaint. It's a nitpick. I acknowledge that.
Fast and loose. Gotta love that fast and loose writing.
Yeah. So the basic rundown of the episode is the two parties are taking turns telling the story of the Zods being imprisoned in the Phantom Zone, but it was never supposed to last forever. Then Krypton blew up. They got out in the 31st century in the Legion time, and started trying to wreak havoc with the help of the Daxamites, the Kryptonians who live on another planet. The colonize another planet. Well, they put him back in the Phantom Zone. They broke the Phantom projector. And then Lorazad decided to steal basically a time machine to try to go back and get it.
Right.
And the Phantom Zone projector is currently on New Genesis, and so that's their plan. He has to go into the deal with Darkseid. Was the ability to get into Metron's, basically his vault, where he keeps the Phantom Zone projector.
Because he can't directly participate in. He can't make a move against
Darkseid is upholding the truce,
right? Because he doesn't want it with Allfather. That's just like a fight they try to avoid unless he knows he's going to win. So New Genesis told the Justice League like we're not getting involved. Like we got truce. We can't do anything against Darkseid, and the Lanterns not actively being involved was kind of confusing too. Like they don't have any restrictions like that,
but they wanted to act as mediators,
right? Like as much as I liked the episode, there were things that really just contradicted source material, and I understand this is cartoons and everything, but some things should stay true, whether it's in a book or in a show.
Man,
Good episode though.
yeah. So, man, shit. That show has always been on the edge, though. It always has been. It always
So,
has been.
yeah. And shout out to Jamil. I saw your comment. I don't know what happened to it. I was going back to comment. The show has changed. Like it's going in different directions, and it's almost grown up with the characters. Like I can't watch
Yeah.
it with my kids anymore. Uh, as opposed to season one. Like I don't have too much of an issue with that. Like we're following those core members. Like in some ways, this show is turning into like a comic book. Like some of the subject matter is right on par with what you're seeing in pages today. Uh, Young Justice is still a good show. Like this show and Voltron may be like the best like series like the last couple of years for me. I compare those two to each other.
Oh, I can see that. I can definitely
Good.
see that. I love Voltron. I love this show too. I'm like a week behind, a week and a half. Well, 1.5 episodes behind where we are right now, because life has a way of getting in the way of life. But man, speaking of
Sure
like,
does.
yeah, Justice League. Wow. The Flash. Wow. Ezra Miller. Wow. What is wrong with this cat, man? Somebody get him off the island of Hawaii, please. He's gotten arrested again in the past, 3 days for
After that
more
couple let him off the hook. He jumped back on
shenanigans.
the hook.
What a dumbass. I'm sorry. I'm not going to mince words. He's an idiot.
Ezra needs help. That's all I'm gonna say. Like it's starting to look like maybe he needs therapy. Like he needs to be, um, I can't think of the word. Examine,
Yeah.
and not even trying to be harsh. He needs to. They need to find out what's wrong. You
Yeah.
know, it's just too
And
much,
what's
really.
his handlers are just doing a terrible job. Whoever is his PR rep or his agent or whoever, they're doing a terrible job.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for him as a person, because he's obviously going through something, and he needs a lot of help.
He needs some intervention in his life. I
He
mean,
needs something.
An
Britney Spears had a mental
examination.
breakdown and shaved her head, and she got put into a conservatorship with her parents. This
Yeah,
kid needs that.
he needs
Yeah.
something.
If anybody needs that.
He needs something.
Eh,
And
go ahead.
go ahead, Q.
No, I'll wait till you're done with this part because it's the same thing, but it has to do with the movie. Like I read what might possibly be the plot for the movie today.
No, go ahead.
Uh,
Explain.
they're knowing the Flashpoint, and it starts out with him in line with with Iris, and he runs off to help Batman. I'm gonna say Bat Affleck because it's gonna be two Batmans in this story, and Wonder Woman, and he's working with Batman to try to find evidence to free his father. They were able to find video footage of his father in the store to establish his alibi. He wasn't home when his
Yeah.
mom was murdered, but the video was obscured, and they try to use it anyway, and his father is convicted, denied parole or whatever based on that. That set him off to time travel. He runs into another speedster while traveling back in time, a Black Flash. Um, if you read Flashpoint, most of it is par for the course. Superman was um, intercepted by the government instead of Martha, and
Yep. Kept in
uh,
a tank underground.
right. And the ending is what real. I'm not gonna. I'm going to all of it because it was a long, drawn out thing, but it was interesting. Um, when he returned back from the future, um, Bat Affleck was gone, and Bat Keaton was there, and
Mm.
they remember the previous timeline. And he gets home, and he receives a message from uh, Bat Affleck asking him to find them. So like the people that are missing, he received a message from them, and there are a bunch of rumors with this movie that Bat Affleck's going to be trapped in the nightmare timeline at the end of this, and uh, it's just I don't know. It sounded interesting to me. Like it sounded like a good uh translation from book to screen for
Mhm.
Flashpoint. It sounds a little better than what they did on CW, which was like honestly a joke. The only thing that came out of that is that Iris ended up liking him after he traveled in time like 3 or 4 times. That was the only significant change from that. But I don't know. Like I we'll see what happens. You know, more time with Discovery and more information will come out towards the end of the year, hopefully.
Okay. All right. Staying on the hot news front, Mike Tyson recently beat the snot out of some guy on a on an aircraft. Oh, you know what? Mike had a great comment. He said that the internet and social media gave people the green light to say whatever they wanted to say without the risk of getting punched in the mouth. And he held true to his because the guy was just going off, talking in his ear, la di da
After
everybody.
being nice.
Yeah.
I mean, he was very accepting of his. He took selfies with him and was very nice to the guy at first. But
I didn't even see that part. Okay.
Yeah.
that was before, and then all you saw was him actually beating the guy because that's when people's phones started coming out of their pockets.
Yep. It just goes to show. I agree with Mike, man. And I've said it just like he did. Those keyboard rangers, man, they get real brave till you get in their face. And that guy took a couple of lumps and he just sat there. He had to ride out that whole flight with lumps on his head.
The guy was being a jerk, though, man. When he
He
poured
was
water on
drunk,
his head,
apparently.
he was all in Mike's face. Like I said, after Mike was being nice to him, the guy asked for that ass whooping. He
Yeah, he
really
did.
did. He asked for that ass whooping. From a regular person. He asked for an ass whooping.
Yeah.
He asked for one for Mike Tyson. That was like suicide.
Mike's a threat till he's dead, man. I'm sorry.
I mean, really, he's still strong. He know how to hit you. He knows he's champ for a reason. He's a scary dude.
All around.
Right.
All around. Yeah, you keep running that daggone noisemaker at the end of your neck and somebody go shut it for you. I thought it was hilarious.
Fighter. Yeah.
Yeah, trained fighter. He leaned over the seat and beat that guy until he just apparently there was one video that showed him like the guy, it was a very exclusive, like one person per seat type of aircraft. So I don't know who this cat was or how he got the money to pay for the flight, or even Mike at this point. But he reached over the seat and just beat his brains out. I thought it was hilarious. I just want to touch on that because it's Iron Mike, and I still love his scene from what was that movie, The Hangover, when he sang the Phil Collins song. Dude, wait a minute, this is my part. Exactly.
Bam.
That was
And
my
Zach
joke.
Galifianakis is down.
Oh,
Still got it.
still got it. Oh man. All right. Last hot button is going to be Johnny Depp and what's her name?
Amber Heard.
Amber Heard. Wow. So they've had a very, very turbulent relationship apparently, and I guess one of the highlights / lowlights of the whole thing is she used to poop on his side of the bed. It's terrible.
That's awful. I mean, how do you
It
get
is.
that far?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't understand. I think as everything came out in their previous trial, it sounded like they were both pretty shitty with each other. Not to make a poop pun, but they were not the greatest together. They were both abusive, both not great. But now Depp is suing her for defamation, so we'll see if that's going to even go anywhere.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I think both of their characters are subject at this point.
I think that they abused each other, which has been proven that they were not healthy for each other at any point in time. And to reflect back on the Will Smith, Jada Pinkett type of deal, short tangent, 30 seconds at the most for me, people. We need to start talking about toxic females. I mean, we've talked about toxic masculinity for years now, which I can see that. But right now, I mean, with these two women doing what they did, or having the situations that they've been into, we have to look at it, guys. We're not always guilty about things, man. We're not always at fault. It takes two to tango. I'm not on anybody's side with the whole Amber Heard, Johnny Depp thing. They're shitty people, not another poop pun. But they did what they did, and I think that they're twisted. I just want men to realize you're not always wrong. If you're in a bad relationship, please check yourself out. Women, same exact thing you've been told for years. If he ain't good to you, then leave. Guys, same rules apply. If she's not good to you, then leave. You're not committed to stay there, period. So that's my stance on it. Just go. These two people are crazy. They just happen to be millionaires in the process. So I don't get it.
And if you want to, their depositions that they recently did are on YouTube. That's the only reason I knew about this, is they cross-examined and were putting forth their story on why, I guess for him specifically, why he thinks he's been defamed by her. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, Disney cut ties with him. Once all this started to go down, there was no more Pirates of the Caribbean. Captain Jack Sparrow was one of my favorite characters of all time on screen because he was just so out there.
Yeah. And there's been a push to get rid of Mira for a few years too, out of the Snyderverse.
Yeah. And these people, just being who I am, can see that these people need some help. They have had some serious issues, and they're going through some things that normal people go through. Not really the whole, fecal matter in the bed type of thing, but they're going through stuff that regular people go through. They're living through a terrible relationship that they refuse to walk away from. For what reason, I have no idea. But it's now, in the press, and people are seeing it, and it's a real thing. So people pay attention. This is my opinion.
Instead of handling behind the scenes like a lot of us do, they have the fame in front of them, and it ended up getting out in the open.
Yeah,
they don't handle it behind the scenes, and they could have saved themselves a lot of face at this point if they would have just handled their biz.
Yep. Ladies, if you're in a toxic place, leave. Men, same thing. Punch out. You are not don't believe the hype, man. Get out of it. You can find something else. If you ain't happy with her, go be happy by your damn self. Period. That's my soapbox.
Yeah, don't let your pride ruin your life.
No, at all. Oh man, Mike, what do you got? Any good comic news right now?
Let me pull my comic list back up because I'm eternally behind as always. I'm always working through my Spider-Man. I want to say that I think Quincy read that Hulk 6 came out. I haven't read that one yet.
Yeah, it dropped this Wednesday. Yeah.
More witness in that one, I guess.
I don't know. I lost track of Hulk. Hulk had my brain twisted, man.
That little blip on his trip and that other world with the other banners is over. I don't want to spoil the end for you, but he's the next run should be interesting. He's gonna be clashing with, well, there's been advertisements for clashing with Thor in the next story arc. So
yes, what's it called, like Thor War or something like that, or Hulk and Thor or something?
War Banner of War,
Banner War, something like that.
Yeah. I'll look into that. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, those are always a good scrap.
Yeah. I need to give Thor another clean W over him. Hard to
another clean? When he got a clean W over the Hulk ever?
Fear itself. He knocked them into orbit. He knocked the Hulk into orbit.
Which Hulk was that? Who was in control?
He was in control of he's being controlled by a demon, but he had a hammer, and Thor beat him and
Okay,
Thing
and the
at
thing
the
he
same
he
time.
called him a
Yeah,
troll. He called him, troll. You've been giving me hell forever. Yeah, I remember that now. Okay,
Big green
yeah,
troll.
not
but that
not
wasn't a clean win. Then it was a
that's
demon in control. It was
that
somebody else.
no, he gets credit for that because it was 2-on-1.
Oh, look at this.
No, 1-on-1 Hulk and Thor, no sidekicks. He ain't never really got a clean W on Hulk. It's
Well,
always a scrap.
but like, listen, like Hulk falls under these stipulations. Like he's never like he'll risk his life before he'll kill a mortal. Like if that means that he loses, like he's gonna lose.
You mean
Like
Thor?
he's never Thor. Like he does
Okay.
not kill on Earth. Like Asgard's another. If you're like a troll or a giant, yeah, he'll kill you. He don't kill. He don't kill humans. Like even if it costs him the victory, he will. He's another one that holds back
You saying that Thor's been holding back against Hulk all these years?
against everybody he fights on
No,
Earth.
I ain't caring about everybody else. I'm talking about Green Hulk. You saying
The
come
whole
on?
yes.
No,
I'm telling. Hey man,
I ain't
you
gonna.
gotta believe it.
I
Hey,
don't.
listen. Well, it's the truth, dude. Like, and I'll dig up some skins that have Captain America quoting it. Thor telling him he will not use full strength against a human, even if it cost him the victory.
Oh,
He considers Hulk a human.
Yeah,
He is a
exactly.
human.
that's
He
my
is.
whole thing.
Hulk
He
ain't
is
been
a
a human in
human.
a
I mean,
long
yes,
time.
you're right.
Yeah,
Technically, he is,
yeah,
but
he is a human, and that's
He was
how he
born a
looks at him.
human. He was born a human, but he ain't been
He's
far past human.
he's if he ain't a human, what is he? A
He's
mutant?
a gamma radiated mutant. That's what
A
he is.
gamma
He's
radiated what?
a
A gamma
mutant.
radiated what? Human. He's a
In the
human.
technicalist term, no.
He's a human.
No,
That goes for listen.
I'm sorry, man. The guy got lost off, and he had his own world war. He had his own planet.
Dude, this is the
Well,
same thing as
he can
it's the same
step and
thing.
create life. I mean, no.
This is the same thing as Superman fighting the opponents he does. He doesn't kill, like whether he's human or whatever. It's the same
No,
rules.
it's not that. It's the fact
Uh,
that for all
what?
these years, you're telling me that Thor was pulling punches on Hulk.
Yes, on everybody. On everybody.
No.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
I'm gonna need to hear him say Hulk's name. I'm gonna need him to say, I have never fought you at full strength. I'm not gonna hear
like the way the Avengers look at him and the way like they have like it's a human that was sick. He was on their team. He's an original Avenger.
Yes, he was.
All right, they look at him as being sick. There's no like very few. I would say Wolverine probably the only one who fought to kill or to maim him. No one like everybody knows Hulk's story. They're like nobody's trying to hurt him. They're trying to subdue him.
They
That was
can't
the
hurt
whole.
him. That's the
That
whole
was
thing.
that was the whole thing with the Illuminati. They wanted to protect him. That's why they sent him off planet. There have been many attempts. Doctor Strange
Yeah.
had like he sent him to the crossroads. Like them sending him off planet to planet Scar. That's not the first time they've tried something like that. And Doctor Strange was involved with both of them. Like they can't cure him. They just want him to. Hulk wants solidarity. He wants to be alone. Leave him alone.
Maybe he doesn't want to be cured. Deep
He
down.
it's nothing. It's nothing that they can do. Like there have been so many attempts to fix his psyche. Like he was emotionally scarred before the bomb, and that's part of the
That's true.
problem.
That's true.
Like all it did was just bring out.
His dad abused him. His dad was
trauma.
ass.
Yeah, but it's like how many Hulks have there been? They're not all the same. Like I just looked at it as green and gray, but in the
There's
Immortal
more,
Hulk,
yeah.
World War Hulk, it was one. The Devil Hulk. There's been so many Devil Hulks.
There's been several Hulks. Yeah. But they
Like
can't kill.
he's I don't think he can be cured. In this last current run, it's the workings of a madman. Like that's ridiculous. What's going on with the Hulk right now?
I want Thor versus Hulk 1v1 in this upcoming run, this upcoming story arc. I want to see that, just like Mike does.
Well, it's going to be a fight because like he's Odin forced up, and he's definitely above his power.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Now this would be a scrap. Odin with the Odin Force or Thor Force or whatever it's called now. This would be a scrap.
But it's
Yeah,
always
we
a
can
scrap.
finally
It's
bring on all the people who
always.
said that the Hulk is, limitless in his power as long as he's angry, kind
So,
of thing.
well, see, I just put up a scan recently of Thor actually fighting the god Zeus. He went to Mount Olympus for I forget the reason. Zeus
Was it
beat
Thor or
the
the Hulk?
snot, the Hulk.
Yeah, the Hulk. Yeah.
Zeus beat the snot out the Hulk.
Yes, he did.
It's a god. You're still a man. You're still a man, and like it wasn't close. He
Okay.
he had him throwing up. He pinned him to the side of the mountain and left him there. All right, like you fight humans like it's a god, and Hercules told him going up there like be careful. My dad does not.
You don't want
He
that smoke.
he doesn't care that you're a human. He gonna treat you the way he treats you, and he got his brains kicked in easy,
Oh,
What was
early,
that from? I saw that scan. What
quickly.
was that from?
It was one of these. It was after Planet Hulk and after World War Hulk. This is when he was running with his son Rick Jones, Red She-Hulk, that
Mhm.
group of Hulks.
okay. I remember that run.
Yeah.
Yeah. You think Scar could take him?
Who? Take who?
Take Thor.
No.
No, I don't think so either. And,
Huh?
Thor is supposed to be the Marvel equivalent of Superman, but I admit he's taking L's that he shouldn't have taken over his career. Silly losses.
but a lot of times that's Thor's thing. Thor wear that round one, but that round two is when you gonna get your ass whooped.
Mhm.
That's a lot of like what was it? Justice League and the Avengers when he fought Superman and he lost. The first round he lost, but I think if they let them fight again, the end result might have been a little different. He'd
I
have
had
had to
so
work a little harder for that.
I had so many problems with that, and me and Randy still debate that. And like he got the win. I don't agree with it, but it's like
I'm not gonna say he
whatever.
got the win, but he wouldn't have got round two. He wouldn't have got not like that. Superman first that arm should never have worked the rest of that issue. He caught the
Oh, okay,
hammer.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that happened, and see, this is how inconsistent it was. So that happened, and then like Hercules, like Iron Man, and someone else beat
You got like
Superman
Yeah.
down.
people just
I
Yeah,
just
just gang beat
they
the
stopped
shit out of
fighting their guy to
Superman.
beat Superman ass, and they laid them side by side.
people, and
Yeah.
then like the fight, like Iron Man's punching him, like that should even registered. Like Tony, get out of here.
His hand should have shattered.
Right?
Yeah.
No thanks. Get out of here, Tony.
Yeah,
Oh,
that whole fight has an asterisk behind it because I'm fairly certain something was influencing a lot of the DC characters when they came over, whatever the world crossing, and they were more, I guess, more aggressive than they would normally
Yeah,
have
it
been,
was the vibrations. They were It was the world was moving on different vibrations than their
and
home
it was
planet.
causing them to be more
Even in
aggressive.
that
Right.
book, though, Thor told him, I've got your measure now. Next time it will be different.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
kept waiting for that next time.
and like he's on record on the second fight with Juggernaut. He
Okay.
told him like I rarely use full force against an enemy, but the thing is, Juggernaut got the force field. Like he still ain't feel it until Thor took his force field from him, and then he laid into him. But that fight still ended technically in a draw.
Didn't Hulk have Juggernaut's power for a while?
Colossus did.
Colossus did. That's who had it. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I knew something you didn't about a mutant. That's a point somewhere, right?
For
My
those
memory
keeping
is
track at
such.
home.
I knew somebody had it. Look, it's almost midnight. You'll be all right.
Yeah,
oh yeah.
But you do
On
keep
that
tabs
note,
on us.
I do keep tabs. Yeah,
You
man.
keep tabs. I
Kevin,
give you that. You watch it in the window. I promise. You stalker.
Batman in the cave, man. Gotta keep make notes of the weaknesses,
Yeah.
man.
that's
Conspiracy. I
it.
see it. I see it.
Next week is the death of the Justice League, right? That's the
Yeah,
first issue comes out next week.
I
Okay.
pre-ordered it. Yeah,
Oh, word.
yeah. On
Oh,
Comixology, they let
word.
you pay
Yeah.
ahead of time.
All right. Heck yeah, we'll get to that. We'll definitely dive into that one. It comes out next week, next Wednesday.
Mhm.
Yeah,
All
or
right, great.
Tuesday, possibly. They've been dropping on Tuesday recently for some reason.
Oh, sweet. Sweet. Yeah, we'll touch on that next week. Somebody put that in the chat so I can remember that. Oh man. So wow. Mike alluded to it. It's almost midnight here on the East Coast. And we're gonna wrap this up. I think it was an overall great episode. Did we touch on everything that we needed to? Everybody? Check your notes.
I think so.
Yeah, I don't have anything
Awesome.
to really hit on.
Awesome. Great episode, gentlemen. Thank you, listeners, for tuning in and clicking play, clicking download. We greatly appreciate, your participation in all this.
Before you sign off, Mike, you see my call name there on the screen?
Mutant Master. Goddamn terrorists always want to start trouble. I promise y'all. It's never the X-Men. Them damn Avengers are terrorists, and then they go smile in your face.
Listen. I'm just like enjoying my moment right here. All right, I'll take it down by next week. I think.
No, you won't.
I'm gonna be an Omega Mutant Master next week.
Oh shit! Wow, here we go. Look at this here.
Oh man, I love you, man. You know, man.
Y'all make this show funny as hell. But man, we're gonna get out of here. We really hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Comment, like, share, do all you can, man. We're on, of course, Podbean, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and we're now on YouTube if you didn't know that by now. So go ahead and check us out, like, share, show us some love, man. Get some traction. We need it. You guys like it. So check us out. So until next week, the fearsome foursome, the four horsemen, coming to you. Hopefully next week we have a, bigger crew. I love the crew we have right now. We'll have some more power next week. So until next week, this is Cosmic Lou with QP, the Mutant Master, the one guy, Rob, and Mike Jones, Comic Mike.
Yeah.
We're out of here. Till next week. Peace.
Peace. Cue the cowbells.
Ding, ding.
Bye.